hearing without any selections. But it will be a constant run, and you will have to unplug it in order to get it to turn off. And so the part that I'm talking about in specific is your counterbalance tub. I'll put a picture on here so that you can see what it looks like if they provide. Whirlpool washer. This design is becoming very common. Starting to see this design in specific identifications is the panel, this arch, and specific for this design. But this is about a 10-year-old unit, so the complaint is that it is going into a default when it's plugged up. It's going into an automatic pump out, thinking the water has breached the water system. So it thinks, well, it doesn't think. The power is routed to the pump to turn on, to constantly have the pump running as if water was pouring into the washing machine. And so without any selections, or being able to make any selection, it shuts all of your physical selections off, and it just goes into default, and it stays into a pump. And so what I was able to do to get it to turn back on is that taking the top panel off, accessing your pressure switch. And so it is a pressure switch and control board issue. And so removing power, unplugging the washer first, of course, then removing power off of your pressure switch connector, and then plug the washer back into the house outlet, and then turn your washer on, and then it will go into a default drain again, and then unplug it, remove your wire harness again, and then also then remove pressure hose off of the pressure dome, so there may be pressure still inside of your dome pressure hose here, and so there may be pressure for the dome. So remove that relieves the pressure. Then you can select the quick test wash, which I always select drain or spin or quick wash, and then I'll hit spin, which then will lessen the estimated time. Then you can observe it turning on and see if it's going to fill, see if the drain is going to turn on, and see if it's going to operate. So far I've been able to remove the ground that supplies the control chip, integrated control chip, a error code to shut down, so it allows it to work. But this will be a temporary fix, because it will happen again. The reason being is that it's not an electronic problem, it is a drive issue problem. Alright, so you notice the drum there? See, you notice the drum, see how it's wobbling? That's without any clothes in the unit. That is the problem. It's a counterbalance issue. And what I mean by counterbalance issue is that internally, when you have clothes in there and your clothes is weighted to one side, well, there is a counterbalance that counterbalances the weight, and that ring is mounted in the rear part of the drum. And so to access that counterbalance ring, you have to completely take your drum apart, removing your outer tubs, severing your outer tubs, and then you can access the basket internally, which is an overhaul. That labor would be considered non-practical for current times of what these units retail new for. And so it wouldn't be practical. You can buy this unit for about $500, not including installation, delivery, or haul away. But the main issue is, I'll get right to the point, drain the water out. It verifies that the pump is good. And that's what you would walk into your laundry room hearing without any selections. But it would be a constant run, and then you would have to unplug it in order to get it to turn off. And so the part that I'm talking about in specific is your counterbalance tub. I'll put a picture on here so that you can see what it looks like if they provide one. But you hear that noise? And you see how it shakes? I'm gonna rotate it right here and see how it pulls back that direction. That is the gel waiting inside of that tub ring that's mounted in the rear there. Or most of them are mounted in the rear there. And so what it does, it counterbalances your clothes when it goes into a high RPM spin so that it won't go out of balance. And so what's going on over time, the water has lost its fluidity to free flow, and it has gotten hard. I think it has gelled up basically. Whatever material they're using is not staying liquefied, if that makes sense. And so, I'll give you a good example. See how that just wobbles? And then the BBs in there doesn't help at all. It's sloshing inside a thick liquid. And so that is what will cause this to induce an out of balance and shut down. And then it will go into a default. I think the code default is F01. But in any case, this is not repairable. And all the front load washers are may have this problem over time. Either the liquid hardens, or in some of the top load designs, the liquid will evaporate out of the tub ring. And so that is the problem with this design. So until they make a better design or put a better type of liquid in here that won't harden or won't evaporate, then this was what you will have. It takes about 10-15 years before this occurs, from what I've noticed. And so that is the reason why the default will engage, because of tub ring counterbalance gel has gotten hard or has lost its fluidity. Alright, until next time. I used to love taking these apart, but now it's just not practical. But these are the cause. It affects the pressure switch, of course, because it is a electrical to mechanical connection. You have pressure, which would be the mechanical, and then you have your electrical here, interconnection. So it's a two system fault, and the cause or the effect cause is the tub ring, and the effect is the pressure switch.
Oh, not a problem. Thank you for calling.
In connection to, of course, the DUV control board. And so, unfortunately, these are supply issues and electronic, but this is what induced all of the problems. All right.